Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of the Supercoach Diaries. Before I begin, I just want to remind you, please do like this video if you enjoy it. Subscribe if you want to follow the rest of my diaries as we get towards the pointy end of the season. With that out of the way, today's video is actually a pretty jubilant one because I've started to turn that form around, which is great to see. Firstly, as you can see, 2,253 points is a pretty decent score for this week. It's in the top 7%, so I can't complain about that. And there's also moved my rank up to 38,908. So overall, pretty good, you would say, just by looking at the stats. You look best player, Jack Steve, with 170 league wins, 2 out of 2, looking pretty good. But there's a bit of a somber affair to it, and it comes to this guy down here. Gaz has unfortunately done his shoulder, needs a full shoulder reconstruction, meaning one of those trades that I had saved for an emergency is about to be used for an emergency. So anyway, let's get into the team. I'll show you what I've done with Gary Ablett and what I've done with the rest of my team heading into this week. So here is what my team looks like after I've made the trades and made these changes. So all it is been 2 changes I've had to make. The first change is, as you can see, no Gary Ablett left on my field, on my team. Instead, Dan Hanbury is there. So I've downgraded Gary Ablett, who was about 589,000, and downgraded him to Hanbury, who is 539. With Sydney hitting some good form and heading into the end of the season, I think Hanbury will lift his game and he'll start putting some really big scores together. So with that 50,000 and the extra money I had left over after last week, I made another upgrade. As you can see, no more Carriage in my forward line, but now I have Dustin Martin, who toward the second half of the year so far has looked like an absolute world beater, and for my sake, I hope he continues that form into the following rounds and into the end of the season. So they're the 2 changes I've made. As for performers from last week, you can't really go past Jack Stephen, who scored a massive 170 points against Essendon. He looks like an absolutely unstoppable. Special mention actually to Tip and Woody, who I still haven't traded out of the team, but he's still bobbing up for 100 hit in the backline, which is amazing work. Especially when I had people like Shaw and Bartel and Rance who looked very well below the level. Tip and Woody stood up and he actually put together a pretty decent game. Robbie Gray was probably the third one I'd like to give a bit of a mention to. Looked very good. He's starting to build that price back up and he's starting to put some consistent football together, which is great to see. So there's one other thing you might notice, and that is Liberatore that is sitting on the bench here. What I've had to do is, because I've only got 4 trades left, so I don't want to get rid of Libba just yet. I don't know what's going to be happening with him. From what I've heard through the media and stuff, Libba's only going to be missing the 1 week. So I've taken him out and put Davis onto the field, who again actually had a pretty good game too, as cover, just to get those few extra points. He's probably not going to score your 100, 150, but he will give you a few points towards your total score. So just for today, just for this week, Davis on for Libba off. So I'm hoping, the last worry I have is I'm hoping here a lot of my rookies are still scoring zeros. So I'm hoping heading into the next couple of weeks, teams like a Richmond or a Collingwood, who are genuinely not going to probably be making finals, they'll probably be going through and going back to their youth. So Broad and Phillips might be getting games at that point. I do have to let you know, 4 trades left, only $52,000 remaining. So, be interesting to see how the team changes and how the team moves heading into those final rounds. Well, anyway, guys, thank you for watching. Thank you for keeping up with this team. As I said at the start, like the video, subscribe to the channel to follow all the goings on. I hope your team's been doing better than mine, and I'll see you later.